Right, so where are you going to get 3.5%? Nope, 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 nope. How are you going to get 3.5% immediately?
Summer sales. That's what I did. That's what I did.
Rob a bank? What?
SB204.
No. You're going to go write an offer on that condo and you say, hey, here's my offer, and I'm actually going to give you I'm going to give you 0.5% more than what you're even asking, or you can negotiate however you want. But the commission's going to be 3.5%. And they say, great, we'll pay you 3.5%. You're buying our condo. That's great. They pay you 3.5%. You direct the title company and say, hey, my commission dollars of 3.5, I want every dime of that actually go into my down payment. Give me a loan. You just bought a house for free. So you're going to do that your first time. Then guess what you're going to do a year later? The same flipping thing. Then the same flipping thing. And before you know it, you're 18 years in the business and you have 68 rental properties.
Wow.
Boom.
It really does snowball.
So
After 1 year, you don't have enough in your home to have 3.5% to do money.
you got commissions. Commissions. Yeah, the best one I've done, because that's 3.5, and that's FHA, and you only get 1, right? So on your next one, then you have to get to 5%. If you don't save up the cash, do the same flipping thing. Hey, Mrs. Seller, I'll buy your property, but my offer is subject to a 5% commission. Say, oh, that's so much commission dollars. Well, no, duh, I'm using it for my down payment because I'm the realtor. Work out your numbers. Like, at the end of the day, they don't care how much commission, they just want their net. So I bought multiple at 5%, they pay it down, that's my down payment. All day long. Yeah, so a year from now, if you guys don't have at least 1 rental property, shame on you.
Okay.
Now here's the catch. I'm going to play devil's advocate. The catch is when you only put 3.5% down on a payment with today's freaking crappy rates, you're going to have a big ass mortgage that's higher than rent.
Yeah.
But you will own real estate and get all the perks that comes with that. So there is a sense of like, be smart with what you're buying too, because you don't want to just go buy junk. The best thing you could do is buy Amy's listing. So that all those homes that I bought, generally back in my 20s, especially as an 18, that's what got me into real estate. This first one is Amy just described that she's got, and it's not an estate sale because the owner still lives, but the kids are kind of directing it. That's why I immediately like, oh, it's an estate sale, but it's not. But the home's hammered. We're going to assume it's condemned and haunted. It's got all the above, right? You absolutely want to buy that home. Yes, if you can get a loan on it. How do we want to go about this conversation? Because I also want her to buy the home. Here's why. The quick answer on why you should buy it is you can buy it and you can get the sweat equity, do the Home Depot runs, do all the repairs yourself. Now you've bird a house. You guys are laughing, but why not?
No, I know.
What are you doing on the weekends? Watching TV? No, go flip a house. Go fix up a house. Go burr a house. What does burr stand for? Real estate term that just gobble it up and use it. You're going to use the terms house hacking. What is house hacking? We just talked about it.
Yep.
You occupy. Yeah, you just occupy. And your clients can house hack. It means you occupy. It's like, oh, well, it's not my dream home. Well, no, duh. You're buying it as a rental, and then you're going to buy another one. You're going to be a little mobile, but you do that anyway, renting.
Yeah.
Or you're going to go house hack. House hack means you're getting rentals by occupying for the first year so you can get occupying financing. That's house hacking. What is burring properties? Another investor term. You're going to buy. Ooh, you got to buy, renovate, rent it, refinance it. Now, the reason this matters is because you can build your equity when you rehab it, when you remodel it, and then you rent it, and you go to refinance. In a perfect world, after 6 months, you get to use a new fresh appraisal. And if you've created enough value, you may have just created 20% down, and then you are buying a house for free. I did a lot of my initial properties in my early days like this. So when I heard someone say, oh man, I have a positive meth test. When do you want me to mail you the offer, hand you the offer? Like, meth houses still to this day are one of the most highly competitive properties on earth. That's why when you say, I've got a condemned house, like, oh, I'm like, are you flipping kidding me? You know what I'd rather have than just another stucco vanilla box, like normal house out there? A junker. Like, junkers are such a hot commodity right now. You just got what everyone wants. And you can tell your client that too. Like, yeah, you're not going to go sell it for like a fancy price, but you will have multiple offers. We listed a home just yesterday in Provo, totally hammered house for $350,000. We have multiple cash offers that will close on Monday because it was just priced right, and it's a fixer upper because there are a lot of people out there that are doing this. And here's the thing, flipping in Utah has died. Why has flipping in Utah died? Well, there's a lot of new builds, but when these pop up and the flippers want what she has, the dilapidated house, the flippers want it, but why can't they quite compete? Because the BRRRR folks will take smaller margins. The flippers got to make a profit. They got to pay taxes. They got to do it. And I flipped houses, but like right now, it's like somebody brings us like, well, I'd love to flip that house, but my price has to be here because I need margin if I'm going to flip it. Whereas if I'm burning, I'm like, well, I'm just going to remodel it, build the little bit of equity I can, and then rent it and just have a great position rental property. The numbers look amazing. So the BRRRR folks are chasing all the meth labs, all the Amy houses, and they will pay. I would pay more if I was burning a property more than a flipper. Buy, rehab or remodel, rent it, then refinance it, and you're keeping it long term until you 1031 exchange it to something better. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So we're talking about.
Perspective.
That's my point.
Thinking as a listing agent.
Should I not take it?
How do I help them get it ready? Do they have to really do a pre-inspection? Do we
Maybe.
fix some of these things?
You got to understand your buyer. So this is lesson number 1 for today's class, right? We're talking about a listing consultation. And let's just pretend we're with our sellers here. We're having these consultations. I oftentimes will even just tell my seller, hey, one of our tasks is to put ourselves in the shoes of the most likely buyer for your home. Right, so if it's your little condo or townhome, smaller purchase price, could be a first-time home buyer, could be an investor, but investors are kind of chilled out right now in Utah. Probably a first-time home buyer. They're no longer in their 20s. They're not 18. First-time home buyer now has skyrocketed. We're high 30s, whatever. So just put yourself in their shoes. How do we decorate it? How do we present it? How do we make it look like? Even the words you use in the listing, like do you use, do you talk about the amenities or whatever? Like something like this. Who's your likely buyer? Probably an investor. I mean, if you have like boarded up windows and things like that, could be. So let me back up. This is really important too. One of my first questions going on a listing appointment like you've got, when someone says, I've got a hammered home, I have to know, is your hammered home below, which side of the line is your hammered home? This line that absolutely matters is your FHA standard. FHA doesn't just qualify a buyer, but they do say, hey, the home has to qualify and meet FHA's, I'm going to quote it, livable standards. Now, some people live in a cardboard box, but livable to FHA, and you can, any Google, Chat, GPT, whatever, will just pop off the list. There's a handful of items, but the big ones are, number 1, no leaking roof. Number 2, no broken windows. Number 3, complete floor, meaning you can't just have exposed subflooring, at least not on the main level. And then the biggest one that always comes up is peeling paint.
Especially in old.
Yeah, because of lead, right? You guys all just took the test, you took class, lead-based paint. Yeah, why is lead-based paint a problem? Gives you cancer, but why are we worried about it? Like, who eats paint?
Your kids.
Why do kids eat paint?
They eat everything.
Oh, they do eat everything, but lead-based paint is as sweet as candy. We don't have a lot of it now, so you don't hear the stories like our parents did or whatever. But when you have like Tommy Boy, if you've seen the movie, like, what, you eat paint chips as a kid, And it's like, well, that's a real thing. Paint chips, lead-based paint literally tastes like candy. And so you would have kids, this is delicious, and then they'd literally eat paint and they get super sick because lead is poison. Anyway. A lot of bunny trails, you guys. But I'm going to ask, so on a situation like that, when I go to the house, I'm going to say, actually, hey, our roof is good. Our windows are good. Our flooring's good. Yeah, it's like crooked and tilted because it's an old 100-year-old home, but we're the foolish man. We build our homes in the sand, not on the rock, like we all sang that song in primary. But that's okay. Like a tilting house and a kind of a wobbly floor, like we can still get FHA financing and normal financing if we check all those other boxes. I'm going to assume though that grandpa maybe didn't, maybe it's that hammered. I don't know. Like if it's that hammered, then if we don't cross that line, and it's like, well, shoot, especially because conventional loans have a little bit more latitude, but conventional still requires a stove and like a working furnace. So if you have a house and it's like, hey, I've got no furnace, or I've got a house with positive meth, that's always a classic one. Like, hey, sorry, this was little, our nephew did drugs in the back room. Happens all the time, you guys. We have so much meth in Utah. When you have stuff like that, you can't get financing. So now your buyer pool just went from here to like, it's just the investors. It's just the BRRRR folks, the flip folks. And if that's the case, so if you determine like, hey, it is just the flip folks, no, you're not staging it and making it pretty. Like, yeah, make it, don't look like dangerous or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, just own it. And then in your listing, just say, hey, we've got what everyone wants. Like if we just advertise and say, hey, investor special, it's a TLC opportunity. We've got an 18-year-old that her and her friends are gonna buy it with dad's cash and remodel it and BRRRR it, and do that thing. Like that's your buyer. It's not gonna be the,
Breaking Bad,
I love Breaking Bad. Yeah.
where Jesse buys his aunt's house, his parents' house, and they didn't say that, because he made meth in his house, and then they didn't disclose that.
What meth head's gonna disclose it?
Knew that, so he bought his house that he used to live in, he made meth in it, they didn't disclose it from his parents.
And then he used that legally and held it over their head, and it was so funny. Real estate lesson right there for you. So that's kind of my first question. But I would absolutely cheerlead that before they're just like embarrassed, and acknowledge if they're just like, oh, our dad just like half-assed stuff and just did it. Say that is totally okay. And just remind them like, we can sell a teepee. Like we can sell anything in Utah. Like there's a buyer for anything out there. It's just a matter of determining the value. Like we sell condemned homes, burned down homes all the time. Like those things pop up, like that's fine. Just, it is what it is. And I was like, well, the value is just in the land, maybe, but also like people sometimes say, hey, it's 100-year-old home, but there's life to it. There's a story behind it. There's character. And like, that's why go to Europe. If you haven't been to Europe, like go to Europe. The older the property is, the more valuable it is. Do you guys realize that? Like we don't do that in America. We're still like new is value, old is junk, old is junk. That might not be forever. If we keep building stucco boxes, it will. But if we can actually build like some of these old like bungalow, brick, whatever, Provo, like, come on. Some of the highest price square feet we have in Utah is where? Sugar House. Go to Holiday and Sugar House. Some of these, they're 100-year-old homes and they're $1 million little bungalow junky homes, but they're not junky. They've been fixed up and they've got character and a story and history. And so there's some value in that. So roll with that. But you've got to determine if they cross the line or not. And sometimes when I have a house and it's real close to the line, I'm like, ooh, we got to fix it up. And they say, well, okay, what do I got to do? Pull up the list, the FHA list, again, just ChatGPT it. It's dime a dozen. Just say, we just got to get some paint here. We got to finish the flooring here. And we got to fix that broken window. It's only a few $100s. And now all of a sudden we can get FHA buyer. We just opened up our buyer pool big. Like my first choice is usually to get them to this line, to get them qualified, because the investor pool is just so small and they want a deal. Yeah. Does that help?
Helps. They're gonna probably, I feel like they're gonna ask me like, what do you think about the electrical wiring? Well, what do you think about this cellar that like the plywood's holding it up? Like, this is new to me. Like, I know I don't have to be the inspector, but I said, well, maybe we could get a pre-inspection listing done. Pre-inspection.
Yeah, pre-inspection for the listing.
Yeah.
Well, I'd just ask them and say, again, let's put ourselves in the shoes of a buyer, and let's ask ourselves some questions. First, like your typical like occupying buyer is really going to be concerned about all of that stuff. Are you wanting to have all of those things addressed so we can get that kind of buyer, and you have the capital and the cash to do it? Or would you rather sell it as is? You might take a little less money for the home, but you're not out of pocket trying to fix all this stuff up. It's challenging because it can be a slippery slope too. And it's like, well, once you fix the electrical, now about the plumbing? Well, what about the roof? What about the flashing? What about it's like, well, now you're just flipping your own house. And so I just get real with them and say right at the gates, like, do we want to flip our own house? And that's a real thing. If someone says, actually, yeah, if I can put in 50 grand into this house, but your CMA and the comps me putting 50 grand in this house will get me 75, 80, 100 grand back. If you have that kind of money, like, yeah, go double your money. Like, it's a great investment. People are hunting for investments like that. Most homeowners don't, especially the kids that are mom like, oh, it just like kind of might break their brain and say, okay, then we have to sell to somebody else that's willing to do that. But we've got to find that. If somebody's close to the line though, and it's like, oh, it's only like a little bit of paint, a little bit of carbon, stuff like that. One thing I've done as a listing agent, and someday as you guys are growing out your career, you might want to offer this service, but I will actually offer to pay to have those things done, and then they pay me back at closing. And I've got a bulletproof contract to do that. But that's helped me win a lot of listings over other realtors that don't have that service. So just plant a little seed there that like that is awesome for a lot of people. I probably do 3 or 4 of those a year. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I look at their equity. The cap's usually like no more than 3 to 5% of the overall value. I haven't done anything bigger than like 30 grand. And even that, I was like losing sleep because I'm just using my personal HELOC like on my house to do this stuff. Like it's not like KW did create a fund back in the day. It probably still exists, but nobody really used it, of like to allow agents to do this, but it was very fee heavy and there's just a lot of red tape. So now there's a handful of realtors here that do it, that just do it out of their own pocket. But you got to bulletproof it and lean their house. What if you get fired? What if they don't sell it? What if it, there's problems, and you got to cross that bridge. But most of the time it's like 5 or 6 grand to just hit that bathroom or fix the flooring. And I always push really hard for them to do a Home Depot credit card or something else, because I charge 10%. If I'm going to put 10 grand in the house, you're paying me $1,000, 10% for the first 90 days. And then to make it real painful, it is 1% every month after that. It's very expensive. And I'll explain to people like, I'm not a credit card. Like, you really should try somebody else before you try me, at least for the financing of. I kind of coordinate it and get my handyman and some of my vendors on it. We got it fixed up. Yeah, I've thought about that too, but it's again, usually if I'm talking about 5 grand and it's like, well, it's just so small. It's like, trust me, I want the commission and I want the commission done. Yeah. I've never had anyone really go longer than the 90 days other than one. And I didn't have that clause in there. And that's why I invented it, is because I did all the repair work and then they actually didn't activate the listing with me for like 6 more months. And that really bothered me. They kept having excuses. Well, now we got to wait and we're going to do this. I'm like, I already replaced your furnace. I already did a lot of stuff. Like I got to list it. I got to get my money back. Like, and it just, yeah, she ironically was a meth addict too. Yeah, it was kind of a sad deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have. So we'll put a pin in that. We'll put a pin in that. More questions about your listing. Could be ignorance, bliss, as is. Yeah, like ignorance is bliss in some of those. But that's why just ask them their plan. Now, if they're wanting to like remodel it and get ahead and find that little first time home buyer couple, yeah, you might need to inspect it and then pay money. Like, that's just a whole different plan. But it's like, hey, we can sell stuff as is and just make the best of it that we can and present it. Let's just figure out who our buyer is. Yeah.
I don't remember any of that.
A good idea after this class, pull up my listing. The listing agent is technically my partner Cody Thorup. 350. It's the only single family home for 350 in Provo. And just look at kind of how he presented that. Because it's kind of similar. It's not a great home. It's hammered. It's not like dilapidated, but
You see the one in Provo,
On a lot that couldn't have 6 cars, so you overlays up, have 6 students.
yeah.
But it was renovated in 2000.
They did turn a little garage into an ADU and they rent that out. I don't know if like, she's like, maybe that's grandfathered in. Like. And
Orem's pretty strict, but on the flip side, like, you can rent anything in this world. Like, yeah.
Suggestion that you're just trying to get people over the line to actually purchase. I mean, that's what you're talking.
Yes.
about.
Yeah. If someone's like, well, I have a decent house, I just want to flip it on your dime. It's like, no, it's almost always, and the thing, and this is part of this class. This is also very determined. I'm going to back up. It's yes to get them over the line, but it's also when my CMA clearly says if we only had like new countertops and this and that, look at all of the comps that tell us we will get a way better price. Like we're just yeah. Yeah, exactly. And just like, oh, you're like the ugly duckling, which isn't a bad idea as a buyer. Buyers love that, but they want to pay the ugly duckling price. It's like, oh, let's just get it to a goose because all the other gooses are selling for a higher price. Let's get that. Let's get that up. So yeah, one of my favorite lines that all of you like, again, if you don't take much out of this class, like take this one, and that is anytime somebody says, should I remodel the basement? Should I fix up the house? Should I add a swimming pool? Should I add solar? What are the other crap that people are trying to sell? Should I add jellyfish to my house? Should I replace my countertop? Whatever it might be. The answer as a realtor is, what do the comps say in every one of those situations? Does a pool add value? What do the comps say? Because if you're up in red ledges and everyone's got a pool and you're the one without a pool, well, maybe be helpful. Generally, pools don't add value though, just for the record. You know, does solar add value to a home? You guys are failing right now. What do the comps say? What do the comps say? But what will you learn in Utah? No, solar doesn't add value. Are you flipping kidding me? Like, no, these door-to-door salesmen are so good. They're getting people to drop 40, 50 grand for a solar system. And we don't have enough comps. Like appraisers can't find, because an appraiser just looks at comps. Like that is what determines values. That's what buyers look, that's what appraisers look like. So do we finish the basement? Again, generally no, you usually don't get a dollar for dollar. But what if you're only a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house? All your comps are 3 and 4 bedroom, and they're getting really good pricing because it's a neighborhood with lots of kids or family or whatever. It's like, well, maybe we do finish the basement just to get that 3rd bedroom like that. The difference between a 2 and a 3 is usually a significant leap. Like, what do the comps say? Like, that is the answer. Which is value, yeah. Like,
it's like maybe more willing to buy that. Oh, it's already got. Like you might have a buyer say, "Well, I would like to have sold whatever." You may not add dollars to it, but maybe to sell.
Well, and time is money too. And that's what I'm talking about, sellability. Sometimes it's like, well, days on market is really long. If we do these things, we might not get a higher price, but we'll stand out among all the sea of competing properties. And so we'll just stand out over our days on market. Time is money too. So to your point, like, yeah, that's oftentimes I'll use stuff like garage shelving. Sometimes people are like, look at all this garage shelving that I added in my garage. It's like, doesn't that give us so much value? And it's like, no, because what if the guy with the big, huge truck wants to park his truck and he's got to rip all that out? Like, that's no value. But most people, yeah, they might like the shelving. It's not necessarily going to add value, but it could make us stand out to limit our days on market and just make us stand above some of the rest. Like, those are the features that do that.
The orders.
What's that?
The orders and that.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. If they got a lot of stuff, so got a lot of stuff.
Oh, no, sorry.
I got a lot of crap in my garage, right? We're Americans that just love our crap, right? Love our crap. So let's spend a little more time here on the listing presentation. Let's unless I'm missing questions.
I gotta do some business stuff.
It's fine. I have no problem if you guys step out and do calls and you're in and out. Just don't ask me to repeat stuff. That's not fair to everyone else. They don't want to hear me say the same thing twice. Yeah. No, you're good. Just do your thing. I'm a casual teacher here, especially when this is limited to what we have, because we're burning time fast. So listing presentation. So now I want to jump into that. But before you pass that out, let's actually just talk about Amy's questions. So on a listing, none of you guys have listings yet. You've got someone coming out of the pipe. When somebody reaches out, maybe I'll even back up to just real quick prospecting. Like, you guys are all new, hopefully, and we just talked about you're not in the real estate business, you're in the lead gen business, right? You're in the lead gen. So what does lead gen right now? Are you guys lead generating? Like, just get real. Are you lead gen? What are you doing? You're what? Just pounding social media. Great. Which social media? Great. Broke kids, kind of broke kids, and junior high kids. Great. Okay. Where's the money at? Yeah, Instagram and Facebook. You can rip on Facebook all you want. Facebook and Instagram is where the 30 and 40-year-olds are right now. They have money. 18-year-olds just aren't buying a lot of real estate right now. Good. Well, I was gonna say, and they're out there, and those are the ones I'm the biggest advocate and cheerleader for. I want you to buy something, like, and get that niche, because I got in at 21. Like, not a lot of 21-year-olds were buying real estate. But the few that were there, those are the ones I got in front of. And then when I started buying real estate, they all wanted to learn. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna help you do it. I mean, I'm buying stuff all around UVU. And I'm like, yes, this is cool. Like a bunch of young 20-something-year-old punks getting real estate. And a lot of my friends that did all that right now have a lot of money now. Like it was time value of money. It's investing, right? So yeah, so on lead gen, I don't know if you guys still talk about it in this class, but again, if there's just a couple of lessons I can leave with everybody. We used to call it, I don't know if we're still doing it, but do you guys still do the 4-10, or no, 10-4 is sounds much better, but the 10-4, affirmative, you guys doing the 10-4? You guys even heard this term? Have you, Amy? Am I the only one that's still preaching? I might be, but it's just,
36 touch.
no, this is like daily. No, I know there's so many acronyms and little things, this and that.
There's like 3 of them.
It's essentially saying every day, if you just knew, hey, I have no appointments today, what am I even supposed to do with my life? Am I going to tinker on my website? Am I going to make a social media post? Or what am I going to do? If you can kind of go back to this, I really do think it helps. It's still like literally 18 years in the business. I will still go back and just be like, did I get my 10-4 done for the day? Oh, that's not this. I know what 4 days of love is. I call mine the 10 days of pain. Yeah, mine's 10 days of pain.
It's a.
I know, you guys want love. I
It's
know.
not love.
It's not love. It's painful for them and it's painful for you. Yeah, it's pain. It's pain. No, the 10-4 when you're beginning is number 1, you're adding 10 contacts to your database. You're just growing it. So this is where you're harvesting. You're like, you're going through your social media followers, you're going through your address book. And again, and that isn't necessarily forever, even though still to this day, I'm always asking myself, have I met anybody? I went to the football game last night. Did I meet anybody that like I actually might want to stay in touch with and start to kind of pursue a relationship with in any way? I'm going to add 10 people. Number 2, oh, this marker sucks. Number 2 is I'm going to have a conversation with 10 people. Now, when I say call, the 18-year-old's like, we don't call. And I agree. I'm 40 and I don't like calling either. It's totally fine if this is like communicate with 10 people. Are you sending 10 messages a day for the purpose of letting business come up, right? Not just like, comments on people's social, but like, are you having 10 conversations where you're saying, hey, did you hear, hey, you may have heard I'm in real estate now. And guess what I just heard today? I've got a coworker that's got a dilapidated house that could be an awesome burr flip. Do you know anyone that's looking to make money in real estate? Because I've got a potential flip. And it's going to go fast. The minute and I've got an inside track. It's not even listed yet. This Amy chick in my office, she has got a deal. Do you want a deal? Do you know anyone that wants a deal? I'm dead serious. These are the conversations I will have over the next 24 hours. I will literally talk about your listing because I just learned about it. Right? And it's like, yeah, I've got a deal. But then it also shows, oh, you are a real estate person and you got deals. At the end of the day, people don't want realtors. They want deals. Like they just want somebody to hook them up, and you guys all just, now you have a deal, right? So I'm going to call 10 people. Third one, it used to be handwritten thank you cards, like 10 handwritten thank you cards. I still do write a lot of handwritten thank you cards, but I will admit sometimes I do a lot of gratitude texts, as well, but it's 10 thanks. When you're new in the business, there's so many success stories from people that come here to the brokerage and jump into that, hey, I called 10 people and it was simply my introductory script, which was just simply, hey, Holly, it's Clay here. I just want to call and let you know I have become a realtor and I learned very quickly it's the word of mouth business. And I'm really excited for my career. I'm just wondering if I could ask you, would you just commit to calling me anytime you have a conversation with somebody that's talking about buying or selling or investing in real estate? Would you just call me on that? I'd love to earn their business and I won't let you down. Would you do that for me? You get the yes out of them, commitment pattern, all you return missionaries. Just kidding. But then I would hang up the phone after them saying like, oh yeah, I'll tell them about you. Like word of mouth business makes sense. And it's not a weird phone call. Everyone knows realtors are in the word of mouth business. That's why we do everything we do. But then I'll literally just fire off a text, or again, if you can just take the time, handwritten, kind of just say, thank you so much for like helping me like grow my business and telling people about me. Like it's that simple. Drop a little thank you card. The fourth one is 10 house previews. Now, I don't necessarily mean 10 walkthroughs like physical previews, but it's that you are analyzing 10 houses a day. The ones I want you to start right now is your neighborhood. Your neighborhood. Where do you live? Provo. What?
Dixon neighborhood,
Oh, I know Dixon neighborhood. Great, sweet. How many homes are for sale around in your neighborhood?
quite a few. And there are even like 5 that are below 500,000, probably real quick.
That's a realtor answer. He knew that 5 homes were under 500,000. If you're,
Sold a couple days ago.
And-
I don't have my license yet.
I love it. But the fact that you know that, that's what I'm not, there's nothing more embarrassing than when somebody in my neighborhood's out on the walk and they say, hey, Clay, how you doing? And they know I'm in real estate and they say, hey, Johnson's sign is still up. It's with another realtor. Do you know why like they haven't sold yet? Or if I heard they got an offer, did they get an offer? And I'm like, I didn't even know they were for sale. Like who's like, know your neighborhood, because at least if you're engaged with your neighborhood, know it. So it's easy on the MLS. You don't even have the MLS and you know the market, but once you have the MLS, you can set up alerts. Set up a handful of alerts based on your niches. One should be your neighbor. I know every single condo, townhome, single family home for sale in West Vineyard right now. All of them, because I look at them every time something changes. I have the alert hit me. I had it hit me today, and I'm monitoring some of the single families that are struggling to sell. There's a lot of condos that have popped up right now, which is interesting. We've got one clear down at 340, which is a little spooky because we've been above 350 for years now. So there's a dip going on in Vineyard. Like I know that stuff. If I run into any of my sphere of influence and they ask me a question about Vineyard, like, yeah, I'm the guy. I don't need to pull up my phone. I can tell you. What do you have questions on? Townhomes? Yeah, there's one for 475 right now. Great deal. You should probably buy it. Like, no, yeah. What's my home worth? I can tell. I know what most of my neighbors' homes are all worth on the spot if they saw me walking down the street and say, what's my home worth? Well, I can tell you. You've got that basement apartment, right? What are you getting rent? Okay, let's stop. Like, just know it. Become a master. The more MLS data in here, the better, right? So preview 10 homes. And then physically, you guys have got to, as a new agent, go visit every model home in town. The new construction's not on the MLS. So when someone says, hey, I'm thinking about buying a DR Horton, what do you think? What can you tell me about DR Horton? Okay, so the #1 builder in Utah, and the only thing you can tell me is you've heard a lot of bad things. Are you kidding me? How about the greatest incentive program that exists? What about Iverness? Or Iverness? Inverness, thank you. I'm like, it didn't come out right. Inverness. Why am I bringing that up? It's a 2,000 unit development next to a $4 billion investment from the CHIPS Act with Texas Instruments, you know, with Micron. They announced a temple in that neighborhood. Like there's more action happening there. You better know what those towns, that's an investor like dream come true. Like know the builders. Now, why do I know that stuff? I pop into open houses. I check them out and say, KDR Horton, give me, yeah, there's a ton of horror stories. They're #1 builder in Utah. Like I've got horror stories with them. Like don't get me started on Lennar. Like all builders have horror stories, but I want to know the good too. So pop into 10, like literally Saturday. What are you doing an open house?
Not yet.
Okay, great. Then you're going to go through 10 open houses this weekend. Open houses and model homes. Just go hit them, meet people, see stuff. But the model homes get valuable. Just walk in there and say, hey, I'm a newer realtor. You guys have a killer community. What are your best buys right now that I can tell my friends about? And I'll say, oh, well, check out these townhomes here, these single family homes, and check out where, you know, they all have their incentives, right? Learn it, note it, whatever. Okay, go to the next one. Go to their competitor. Okay, great. What is Arrive Homes doing? Edge. Let's go talk to Edge. Okay, Edge. How are you better than them, Edge? How are you better? Learn all that stuff. So when you're in conversations, you're in that party and someone says, hey, like Lehi seems hot. Like there's that Edge Homes community, Garden Point. It's kind of got my eye. What do you think about it? And you'll say, oh, it's not as cool as North Shore DR Hortons, or Arrive Homes. They're building these new sick luxury townhomes right next to the big apartment building that burnt down. I don't know, you can say whatever you want, you know. Pay attention. You're in real estate, right? So that's this. Now the one that they started calling it a 10-5. Was it Bailey? Bailey. What Bailey just said too. You could always, of course, I don't care how you do it, but like 10 DMs or 10, like it's one of those, like usually when you're rocking social, you're just ripping stuff, right? Just don't get sucked into it and waste a bunch of time. But again, the DM, the plague I see a lot of realtors say, oh, I'm prospecting. And it's like, you're not. Like, if I can emphasize, like, if you could have 10 conversations that are just a little more professional and business related, or even just asking the like, hey, I am in real estate now and it's word of mouth. Would you hook me up? Like, if you just have conversations like, I really want to be a networking realtor. I don't want to be a billboard realtor. Like if you ask that to 10 people every day for just a month, guys, it's game over. You will have business, but you're not going to do it because well, I'm afraid, it's uncomfortable. I don't even have 10 people to call a day. Like, you're going to have all your excuses, but if you can get over your excuses and just figure out, how can I go? And it's 200 is the sweet spot. I promise you, if you just had 200 people that you communicated with regularly to network, you will sell homes. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to go door knock. You don't have to do open houses. Like, if you just have 200 people that advocate for you and just send you referrals when they have these conversations, it's that easy. But you don't do it. Yeah. Just talk louder. Okay.
But he said he gets a lot of his business by contacting local small businesses and being like, hey, if you like put me out on something that's cute, I can do the same for you. And you kind of grow both businesses. And then you're getting referrals from like not even the same.
Sure. It's a great idea. I mean, network with your businesses, partner up. At the end of the day, when somebody comes to me and says, I'm really struggling in real estate, I can usually ask them 1 or 2 questions and get to the bottom of it. And that is, how many conversations have you had this week? And I don't care if it's SOI like that. Like, if you're like, hey, well, I'm going to talk to my buddy, I'm going to network with, just how many conversations are you having a day in the last week? And I'll ask, and I've had these conversations. Well, how many conversations have we had today? Well, none. It's only 10 a.m. and I haven't had any today. Well, 10 a.m. I've had before this class, I've already had 4 or 5, right? Like, okay, it's 10 a.m. Well, how many have you had this week? Well, I've had some kid stuff and some family stuff. All right, that's why you're not making money in real estate. You're not willing to just go talk to people and find your niche too. If you've got your car salesman buddy and like, hey, how do we work together? How do we meet people? Awesome. Just go talk to people. Go sit in front of Home Depot and say, you sure you want to fix up your house or do you want to sell it? No, you sure you don't want to fix, like, whatever, I don't care. Like, go talk to people. That's why people like all these lead gen ideas. They're like, find your niche. I usually will consult with agents and say, hey, just, there's so many, but find 3 and then get really good at those 3. And I really do hope one of those 3 is your sphere of influence, because your sphere is fairly shift proof, right? The market goes up and down, you know, and whatnot, but people are always getting married. They're always dying. They're always getting divorced, unfortunately. Like, there's also deployment. Like, I've had some friends that have sold their homes because they got deployed and they were getting relocated for a couple of years. Like, the D's are all death, divorce, deployment, you know, there's a lot of, but like your sphere of influence, but you've got to establish yourself as the one that says, oh, you're getting deployed and you need to sell your house. You should call Bailey. Bailey just left me a message the other day. Hey, Bailey, you know, and then reward it. Somebody gives you a referral of any kind. You better handwrite that thank you card, drop a gift card, and ring the Pavlov bell. You guys understand what I'm saying? When somebody gives you something, you reward them with a treat, so they will keep doing it. I go through a lot of gift cards, and yeah, it's expensive, but I give so many gift cards all year. Even if someone is just like casually like, hey, I had a conversation, I told them to call you, even though I tried to train my people, you call me and I'll call them instead of just telling them to call me. But even if someone in passing is just like, oh, I totally told my mother-in-law to like use you because they're thinking about, oh, that's so cool. Even if I never hear from that person, I'm sending them a gift card because I want to reward the act of them doing what I have spent my entire career building. And then I promise you, when you're 18 years in the business, like you reap what you sow, and it's so awesome. Like, the majority of my business is, I'm still doing this, but people are just calling me, hey, this friend's got to sell. Hey, this person wants to buy. Hey, and it's like, finally, I'm not in my first year of real estate starving. Like, it does pay. That's why I say, if you can just survive the 2 years, you'll start to get those phone calls coming in like, oh my gosh, like, I became a realtor and people know me as a realtor and people refer me business as a realtor and everything's so much better. Yeah.
Gift cards.
I work Black Friday sales. So like this week, if you go to like Cafe Rio, they legit do like 20% off or something. So I can get like $100 for $80. I work those little things, Costco or whatever, Trumbull. Yeah, well, I have a lot of 25s. I know it's kind of rich, but I'll do like Starbucks all day long. I'll do $10. What's sad is I used to do a couple of $5 ones. You can't buy a damn drink for $5 right now. So I'm doing $10. Yeah, for that. But yeah, I work that's why it changes. I work sales, especially like Black Friday. I'll probably I don't know, I'll probably get $1,000 in gift cards next week. I buy them online, do Costco. Sometimes I'll be walking my Costco, their crumble cookies. I also, I'll be honest, what I've been doing the most lately is I have the Crumble app. It's just expensive, but I will send Crumble and write the note. So it's like, thank you for whatever, and it's easy. Yeah.
You ever, like, give twice, like maybe for the referral and have like a closing or something to somebody that you ever like.
I have before, but it usually no, it's a little unnecessary. The only reason why I have before too is they were pretty involved. And so it's one of those like, hey, like your parents closed, but like you were such a champ, like being like helpful through that. Like, and I gave like I had the closing gift for the mom and dad, and I had a little closing gift for their kid. I think their kid even, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It can add up quick too, though. That's why it's like, but again, if you have closings, it's like, yeah, you do closing gifts, keep it classy, keep it fun. Yeah.
How much?
Who took the test?
250.
250. Yep. That's why like my sales bros, they're like, so let's work out an arrangement. Like if I give you, and it's going to make like 10 grand, can you kick me like $2,500? And there's a part of me that's like, I probably would pay $2,500 for the referral, like if they're really solid and they close, but you can't. Like, and the state knows that, and the state does not want to create an environment where now everybody's a referring agent. So it's $2,500, or excuse me, $250. Yeah, yeah. But I've maxed that 250 a couple of times where I'm like, holy smokes, like every penny of that 250, I'm gonna do the whole basket, the whole
I don't
enchilada.
I imagine, I mean, with your tax, else you're just eating them on that. You're not like the 99 people like a $250 gift.
No. Yeah.
You have to.
You would.
You know what I'm saying? So-
That's like, it's over, yeah, say it again. Over $600, you got 1099 it. You're, at least you should. Yeah. You're a nerd like me. Good job.
About the same age too.
Yeah, there you go.
It's 6 times higher.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, like.
It's a-
You would be in the same.
It'd be and you're doing a bunch of them. It would be a mess. You'd have a tax mess. Yeah, sorry, I'm actually blind. That's why I keep sending, I can't see out of this eye at all. And so like, I see you guys great, but I actually don't.
Oh, okay.
Like this poor guy, I forgot he was even just kidding. Yeah, I legit am blind. So sorry, yeah, raise it high.
I was gonna pull us back.
Okay.
The one question I would like answered in this class is what's the best strategy for convincing people who know that I'm new already to use me even though I'm new?
Yeah, that's my,
That girl, my sister was like, I'm conflicted with you becoming an agent because on one hand, her son is gonna, buy $1 million fourplex in 2 months, but I can't recommend you because you're brand new. So I went into sales mode and I said some cool things and I've met with him already, but
good.
what are the best strategies for going about getting people to use?
What I love about this question is all of you have it. Like you're all new.
Yeah.
I always just look at the 6 personal perspectives that like Gary's such a good teacher in that he doesn't just, he rarely actually teaches real estate. He teaches like life principles, but the one that comes to my mind when you talk about that too is the number 5, remove limiting beliefs. And it sounds like you already handled the first one. That is, first, do you believe that what she's saying is true? Like, is it a bad thing to use a new agent? Because it's logically, it's like, well, I guess they are new, so they must suck and stuff. But the truth is like, that is that like voice inside your head. And it's, well, and that's why I want to say, I want all of you first to be, to also like, don't believe that crap. When people say, well, you're too young, you're going to get that. Why would I use an 18-year-old to sell $1 million home? Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's a limiting belief. Like, do you think 18-year-olds sell real estate? Yeah, a lot of,
the age of my nephew who's buying this fourplex.
right. Like age doesn't matter. And I've had people say, well, I'm too old. Like I've already had a career and I'm like the old person switching careers. Like I look like a failure because I'm switching career. That is all the crap that like we have to deal with first. So that's why like, I love the fact like, well, I don't believe that. That's number 1. Like fight that inner voice in your head that wants to keep you in your comfort zone. And the minute you don't believe that, it's like, okay, well, What's a great answer for that? I've got a lot of answers. What do you guys think? How do you combat that? Why should I use a new agent?
Sell yourself, first of all, gain as much knowledge as possible. And be somebody that questions. You have a knowledgeable and informed answers. So, well, at least you're serious of it. And he's got a, everybody doesn't already done all this research. So call your nephew direct and say, hey, just so you know, I've done some research on what you're looking at. Let him know, share with him, have him be positive and assertive about how you're approaching. So that he knows that you're serious. Maybe that's okay. And make it clear to the people who write up an offer as well as anybody. It's just a matter of, you know, understanding the market he's trying to buy into, just showing that you know it.
I love it. We can go deeper on that in a second. What else?
Like,
That's what I was gonna actually go deeper is if you don't have that, because if you're like, well, and there's very much truth to I might not have all the answers, but I know how to get it and where to get it from more reputable sources than ChatGPT right now. Like,
well,
it's the brokerage. You're in a giant brokerage with not just 300 other agents, but like 30 literal brokers, and an environment where sharing is caring. We have a profit share program that encourages all of us. Like, we do make money together when we all work together. So like, you've got resources. So all the time I'll say, yeah, my team, meaning the office, meaning the deans, meaning anybody that has a door in here.
Cameron, Brittany,
I mean, I agreed, I signed all the contracts in the first forward contracts and did 50-50 split because someone's supposed to be kind of walking through that process.
Mhm. And not just one. You've got Cameron, you've got Brittany, you've got, yeah.
It's not like I'm doing this like
On your own.
on my own.
Yeah, I'm
pretty-
Again, 18 years, I'm still not on my own. I still call Dean. I still call a lot of my peers and say, just like you do, I got a weird deal. Can I just brainstorm with you for a sec? Like, it's a hammered house. What's the best approach? Like, we have those things. So lean on the environment. You did lean on the brokerage too. And usually like this brokerage is very well established. It's pretty reputable. Like, if you're out there, say, hey, I'm at KW Westfield. I've got 30 brokers I can go to. If I can call the first, I got 29 more to go. Like, we're gonna get you taken care of. Why else do you use a newbie? Some of my favorites. What do you got?
like.
Bingo. Somebody says, why should they choose you over a guy like me? So I'm pretty dang experienced and I'm damn good. But why might you win somebody over me?
The open houses a couple weeks before I started studying and while I was studying, and a lot of the agents I met were lazy and.
There is a lot of truth to the like,
They work.
hey, if they can do it, I can do it. Trust me, there's plenty of that. No, but there is a sense.
I only have one.
Yeah. So you're gonna.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna invest of your time on those clients. Yeah.
And there's truth to that. Like, as much as like I've got some pretty high standards and yeah, it's gonna be hard to compete with me. You could play the card of, I don't have a lot of business. So the little bit of business I do, I freaking crush. That's all I'm doing. You're my one client. Like we're gonna roll out the red carpet. Like, we're gonna do everything. And like, and a busier, more experience. They might have a little more experience, but knowledge, I can go. I can get the knowledge. I can get the questions answered. I can get hunger and hustle. When somebody calls on the sign, I'm gonna pick up my phone. Whereas a lot of other realtors, like, they can't. They're busy. Whatever. Like, there's a lot of value in a new hungry agent. Yeah. Go get listings.
That's what you gave earlier is people want deals, not the agent, so.
Yeah, that's why I say a lot of times in my consultations, I'll say, get over the fact that I'm new. Let's get to you. Why are you buying this? Why are you selling this? Like, get into the situation and then find the places you can add value.
I've seen the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Said we walked in, like, oh, shoot, tired. I'll have this attitude like, yeah, whatever. And when he walked out, they'll have the attitude, how do we not hire this guy?
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to do, like, trying to bridge that gap so people can meet you. You lower their expectations and then you're thinking, wow. It's all about this guy is got a
Mhm.
plan, all of those things. So I think that put that together, be able to say, so that's after meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
The idea. If you have like a first time home buyer or a first time seller, you could say,
well, I'm new, but you're also new at this, like, you've never done this, we can learn together.
Great script. Yeah. Well, and there's kind of like what you're saying too. There is power in just like, well, let's just get after it and see what happens. And and you might even just say, look, at any time through this process, if you feel like I'm not up to par, fire me. You're not gonna. But let's go for it. Like,
I was a little surprised when in one of these classes, she was like, yeah, I signed a 12-month exclusive agreement. Like, maybe if I'm brand new, I don't make. a
yeah.
commitment to-
Has anyone talked to you about the easy exit clause? A lot of us agents use it. It's an addendum in my agreement that says, look, at any time, if you're not happy, message me and we're done. It's that simple. And there's certain people that I do have to use that. The truth is, I would always operate that way anyway. If it is working out, like, granted, I don't want to get screwed either, but there are genuinely like just times where I'm just like, man, maybe I did mess up, or this isn't working. Yes, they should be able to fire you, and it could hurt your feelings, but go learn from it. Like, I would want that same thing if I was on their end. So like operating where you have to earn the business. So I'll use that script all the time where I'll just say, hey, put me to work. Yeah, we're going to sign this agreement, but we have this easy exit. And if at any time it's not working out, or you decide to keep your house, or you want to change your plan or whatever, I'm in it with you. And it's just, that's just the name of the game. Just let me know. It's that. And people say, okay, great. Yeah.
That an addendum that you write up yourself? I don't see it on forums. I
Yeah,
hear
but-
about it so much.
Yeah, it's not in the forms. You use an addendum to the ERS, and then we have a little clause. Get Dean's clause. I have one too, but it's, yeah. Well, yeah, there is the protection clause, which specific, if you guys look at, what is that, paragraph 5 on the ERS, the protection clause, it says, hey, if there were any leads that were procured during my listing efforts and my listing period, that I would get paid that commission. And I usually do 6 months. You know, that way, if they're like, hey, well, you're fine, you know, I have an open house, somebody walks in, they love the house, and then it's not hard to find the, you know, I leave, they come back after the open house, knock on the door, hey, seller, we came through, we love your house, let's just cut that doofus out, save some money for both of us and buy direct. And then somebody says, hey, easy exit clause, like, sorry, we want to do it. Yeah, that's why I say if they're going to try to screw me, and it's obvious, I am going to lean into the protection clause and say, well, sorry, but that's not appropriate. I'm going to at least execute my, you know, we can part ways, but I'm getting paid if I procured it. But if they're like, hey, it's just not working out, we want to keep the house as a rental, great. I'm with you, but let's consult. Let's talk about that.
Technically, exit clause is already built in because they could say, oh, you weren't performing and you breached. So you're just packaging.
That's a hard thing to-
Marketing it is easy.
Yeah, exactly. But even breach is still an effort. Like, you guys are going to run into that in your business where someone's like, oh, I'm already listed, but I hate it. I want to hire you, Chris. Like, this realtor sucks. And that is a sticky thing because, of course, you guys can't solicit. So it's like, well, until you're out of that agreement, I really can't do anything. It's like, okay, that's fine. How do I get out of the agreement? Well, talk to them. And then they talk to him and the realtor says, no, I'm holding you to a 12-month contract. Like, don't blame the slow market on me. I'm doing the best I can, you know, like, it is a battle to get out of those contracts. Yeah. Will you pass those out real quick? And then we're going to wrap up, right?
I noticed a lot of signs on homes that aren't.
Oh, I didn't put enough, did I? Can you guys share? Can you two, sorry, I can email you more. I mean, they're all kind of different, but I think this will be handy. Sorry, what you're saying?
Are there a ton of houses that are out there that aren't on the MLS?
But that are for sale?
Yeah, I see a lot of signs for sale
For
signs
sale
on houses that aren't on.
By
the-
owner
Yeah, there's
only.
Website.
That's not very many.
Signs
There's
don't
not
say-
very many for sale by owners right now. Yeah, there's maybe a few hundred in all of Utah. Rural Utah has more than in town. For so,
They just haven't put-
markets are interesting, like,
Yeah.
they're usually under, and they're not under contract because there's a ton of signs that are just in front of houses that are under contract.
Still be on there.
Yeah, they're on the MLS, but in under contract status.
Yeah.
That's usually like anytime my friend says, hey, I found this home on Zillow and it's not on UtahRealEstate.com. 99% of the time it's under contract or even sold, and Zillow's data feed blows. It's terrible. Like, they need to fix that. For Zillow's sake, they need to fix that. But no, there's not that many FSBOs. So when somebody says, well, I want the off-market houses, usually the off-market houses are exactly like Amy described. You're here at the brokerage and you hear somebody say, well, I've got this coming down the pipe. It's a fixer-upper. It says, and then number 2, and this is the biggest one we've already talked about, new construction. That stuff's not on the MLS. That's a tip of the iceberg model. And almost all the builders do that, where they just put the tip of the iceberg on the MLS. But then when you show up model home, so yeah, we've got these 3 homes on the MLS, but we actually have 1,000 home pipeline that we're going to be building out. Like, and they don't want it. They want to cut out buyers agents as much as possible, which is fine to make money. So in a perfect world, yeah, they're getting to the consumer directly and doing that. So what you just got passed out, this is a listing packet that I may or may not open up in my listing appointment. If I've got a sphere of influence, great friend, and I kind of already have the business, I can get pretty fast into consultation instead of presentation. Right? But there's often times too where I'll meet with someone and say, hey, I'm interviewing multiple agents. I'm going to still consult with that person, but I don't want to mess up and not present, otherwise they might not choose me, right? So there is a balance between presentation and consultation, and every listing presentation, consultation, every listing appointment is different for that exact reason, right? So before I go to the appointment, I'm going to ask the pre-qualifying questions, right? This is what Amy was asking about earlier. So before I even go through this packet, I generally ask people a handful of questions. First of all, who owns the home, and will all of those owners be present, right? Is it owned as a husband and wife? Is it grandma's house? Is it me and my kid's house? I want to know that the owners, I'm actually talking to the right owners. Does that make sense? That seems trivial and obvious, but there have been multiple times I've walked into the appointment, I'm meeting with the kid, and they actually don't even own the house. It's mom or dad, or it's somebody else. Or I'm meeting with a wife and the husband's not there because she's about to divorce them, and that's a whole nother conversation. You know, that stuff really does happen. Or I'm meeting with the husband who bulldozes his wife, and his wife actually is very opinionated and should be there. I want the decision makers there. That's number one, right? Just make sure I know that. Number two, I absolutely want to know the why, and I'm going to go very deep on this. Why are we selling this home? Right? What is the motivating factor? And I'm usually going to go 3 levels deep. So, okay, like, why are you selling this home? We need more space. Well, tell me more about that. And this is usually on the phone before I even walk in the door, but certainly if I don't have info, it's before I even crack this open. Why are we selling? I want to know, because I will need to lean back on that motivation when we have the hard conversations. Like, I can smell your stinky freaking dog in the other room. I need the dog to go to the farm if you want me to sell this house. You need more space, right? How important is that? Like, I'm going to go back to, like, why are you moving again? That's really important. Great. So again, I need the dog to go. And I will go back to their motivation when we have to have, that's an extreme example, but I'm going to go back to the motivation when I have hard conversations. So that's the why. Okay, next question I'm going to ask is, talk to me about the finances, meaning how much do you owe on the home? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have a second mortgage? Do you have anything like that going on? And then I'll get into some of the more nuanced questions of how would you describe your home? Why am I asking that question? Do I care what their answer is per se? I'm trying to find their personality type. So I'm going to ask, describe your home for me. I don't say, how many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? Well, I'm just going to get simple answers. I want somebody to describe their home. If I have somebody say that's very long-winded and says, we are the life of the party house, all the kids hang out at our house, like we are the party house, well, that tells me I've got a high I personality. They like to talk. I better schedule an 1.5 hour appointment when I walk in. Well, if I have someone that says, describe my house, townhome, it's got 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. What else do you want to know? Okay, great. I've got a driver personality. I need to be heavy on stats and lay off the lovey-dovey stuff, right? Like, I want to know the personality so I can get a sense of who I'm dealing with. So I'm asking them to describe their home. After that, I'm going to ask, if you don't sell your home, what would that mean for you? This goes back to the how bad do they actually have to sell? Would you keep it? Would you consider having it as a rental? Like, what happens if it doesn't sell? Is that a problem if it doesn't sell? I want to know, do you have to sell or do you want to sell, right? And then usually the last question is a timing question. That is, if we sold fast, like we got an offer in the first week and it closes in 30 days, does that jam you up? Where are you going? What's your next plan? Do we have to sell? That's going to be my kind of my timing question on timing.
They have to sell to buy.
The what?
Do they have to sell to buy?
Yeah, do you have to sell to buy? Like, if we sold fast, does that matter? Oh, school year. Like, I want to know the time frame. And then that's about it. then I'm going to show up to that appointment. And people say, "Well, do I need to clean my house or this?" No, I'm probably not doing photos, but let's go meet. I want to see the house. If they ask me, "Hey, what's the price over the phone?" I don't know yet. I haven't seen your home. I'll get some comparison. I've got a rough idea. I might even tell them, but I do want to see your home. I want to do everything I can to have the pricing conversation in person. Sometimes I say, "What's your commissions on the phone?" Great question. I'm a 3%, and I recommend you prepare yourself that you'll pay another 3% for the buyer's agent. Any other questions before we meet? I have no problem answering that one on the phone. Say, "Oh, well, that's hard. Like, I got a neighbor that said they do it for 2%. If I get the commission objection over the phone, hey, that's great. How about we talk about that when we meet? Because there's actually some opportunities for you to save in commissions based on how we procure the buyer and how that deal might come together. But that's probably a better conversation for us to have when we're looking at the comparables together and seeing how other neighbors successfully sold and what they paid on commissions. Because the CMA is not just price, it's also on time frame, concessions, commissions, things like that. So how about we talk about that in person, right? Then I'm going to have that appointment, and then we're going to get the appointment. When I show up to the appointment, I'm going to walk in the door, and again, we're just going to kind of breeze through this because we're out of time here in 11 minutes. But I'll generally tell people, really, my objective here is to do a couple of things. First of all, I want to see your home, and then I want to sit down and make a plan for selling your home, and then I want you to make sure that you feel comfortable with me being the quarterback for the whole process. That's it. So we're going to walk the home. We're going to talk about the 3Ds, the depersonalize, the deep clean, and the decluttering of the house. And that's it. There's a page in that packet that talks about those 3Ds. I'm going to walk down there. I'm going to come back to the kitchen table. And this, in essence, and if I don't have the packet, or if I'm in an elevator and I tell somebody, "Hey, you've got 60 seconds to do a listing kind of presentation," it's this. It's Mr. or Mrs. Seller. There's 3 ingredients to selling a home. You guys heard this before? You've been to my classes too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure others are doing the 3 ingredients. And I didn't invent any of this. I just get this from I am a master at R&D, rip off and duplicate. And all of you should do the same thing. Do not recreate the wheel here. There's just stuff that works, and learn that stuff. But I always will default to the 3 ingredients to sell a home. So the first ingredient, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, to sell a home is the pricing. That's important, right? And we're going to look at comparables. We're going to put ourselves in the shoes of a buyer to decide how we price that. And I brought a CMA here, a comparable market analysis we're going to go through. The second ingredient is marketing, right? We want to expose the home. We want to show it in its best light. And the third ingredient is the condition, and that's on you. If we show the home great, the condition's good, we're able to see it, do open houses, it looks good, smells good, feels good, and then the marketing's done right, that's my job. We've got great exposure, it looks good, and I can get people in the door to come do a walkthrough, and it's priced right. You will still sell your home in an average of, our days on market is about 2 months right now, we will be successful. If we are unsuccessful at selling your home, it usually means there's a problem with one of our 3 ingredients. Either our pricing's off, I'm sucking at marketing, which I promise you will never be the case, because I will fire myself before we let that happen. And I can explain a lot in detail why the marketing is top tier marketing. Or we might have a condition problem, and I will fight to get feedback from anyone that walks in your home so we know if we need to make tweaks, if we need to send the dog to the farm, or whatever it might be. But if we can get feedback and nail the condition and really be in line with our comparables or better and stand out, and I'm doing my job, which I promise I will, and we're still not selling, and this is oftentimes the case, then we know the market and our pricing is not justified. And the only way to create value when our condition's good is to lower the price. Value is either we do more to the house or we lower the price. That's it. That's how the world works for every product on earth, right? So those are our 3 conversations points. So we'll talk about condition. Great. Let's talk about marketing. Now, sometimes I breeze through marketing. Sometimes people are like, well, tell me about it, especially if they're interviewing multiple realtors. I'm going to spend time on marketing. If they're not interviewing realtors, then I'm pretty fast on marketing. And I'll just ask them, hey, you're familiar with my marketing strategies. Does it seem like a marketing plan that would work for you? And I'll just do a soft close like that. Does my marketing seem like the right marketing plan? So assuming we can agree on price, are you prepared to list today? If I say, yeah, let's just talk pricing, and I'm a yes, I'm going to list with you, then I know I'm not going to have any objections. I won't spend much time going through the marketing. If they say, well, we're interviewing multiple agents, I want to go through marketing, then I'm going to jump into some of the pages there. But marketing can generally be boiled down to some pretty easy conversations. I usually start that conversation with that pie graph that's there. Yep. And I'll even draw it for people sometimes. So if you guys are like, oh, what do you do? If somebody says, what do you do to sell a house? Usually I default to this little exercise. And this conversation piece. Oh, I need a better marker, guys. Are there more markers? There's usually like a, oh, that's good. Glorious. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Ooh, is that the right one there?
Yeah, she has.
Yeah, that's it right
I
there.
brought mine.
Oh, is that yours? Oh, look at you. Yours is better than mine. A big old pie graph.
Ah.
No. Well, I threw this pie graph. I like it because I'll just say, and again, you can do this in an elevator conversation with somebody and say, hey, what do you do to sell homes? That's a great question. At the end of every year, the National Association of Realtors does this giant study, and they ask all kinds of questions to home buyers. But one of the questions that I love so much, and I'm in script mode, by the way, this is how I talk to people. One of the questions I love that they ask is, where was the place that the person that bought the home first was notified or found the home? Like, how did they find the home that they ultimately bought? And they put all that data in a pie graph, and it kind of looks like a peace sign, right? Kind of looks like a peace sign. Does yours look like a peace sign on your graph? Kind of does. If I'm drawing it, I'm going to make it a peace sign. What do you think the number, and I'll ask my client this, what do you think the number one way people find their home that they buy is? Some form of online internet. Right? So they're going to be online. It's going to be some website, whatever. So the first thing that I do to market is I ensure that you are on everything that's selling real estate in Orem, period. I'm going to underscore that. Everything. I don't care what the website is. I go above and beyond to make sure that our syndication is working. So if somebody's using Redfin, Zillow, whatever, they're going to find it. And I'll even break this down to like, there's 5. Maybe I won't go through them all now. There's 5 places. Number 1 is all the national porters. Your Zillow, your Redfins, your Trulia, your whatever, right? The next one's going to be the local stuff, right? The UtahRealEstate.com, the Orem Homes for Sale, the whatever websites. We're going to be on every one of those. Next one's the brokerages. Even though I'm with Keller Williams, you'll be on Remax, you'll be on Coldwell Banker, Century 21, whatever. You're going to be on all of those because of our affiliate relationships and our syndication. And then lastly is classified ads. Yes, I put all my listings on KSL. Used to do Craigslist, dumped it because Craigslist is dumb. But we're absolutely on KSL. And then the last one, the 5th one, is the one I'd like you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, to participate. This is the conversation part of the internet. That's social media. I'm going to post on my Insta. I'm going to post on those. I'm going to make some graphics for you to post. And if you're in any kind of neighborhood 411 or groups on Facebook, I'd love for you to share it there. But I certainly would invite you, share it on your Insta as well. And we'll go there. All of those things combined, truly no stone left unturned on the internet. Boom, we cover it. What's number 2? Big chunk of people say, I found out about my house because my realtor sent me an email with it, or they called me, or they texted me and said, check out this house. Realtors still freaking work. Give a little R, yay, realtors, we still work. Now, a lot of those here in Utah too are the alerts that we set up on the MLS or from your website, from Command, whatever. Like, people love the alerts. It's like, I don't have to go search the internet. I just know what's new, meets my criteria alerts. And what do you got all down here in this little pie graph? This is where you get the little things. The sign. People still report that they found the home because they were driving around and they called on the sign. Signs work. So I got a sign, I've got a QR code. I don't do flyers because they just get soggy in the rain. And your neighbors steal them all. I have an empty box. So I do a QR code that they can scan. And when they scan that, I capture their information. And yes, I call them. I know a lot of buyers, like your neighbors, just want to know the price, but they're still going to get a phone call from me, and I'm going to invite them. Another one, of course, on here is open houses. It's less than 1%, but open houses still do work. I'm gonna do open houses. I'm gonna knock on doors and invite people to the open houses, drop a little flyer, yada, 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 yada.
How do you scan it?
When they scan the QR code, our office has a process. You guys all get it by just being, joining KW. That QR code captures their information. Because when they scan the QR code, it's a 2-way text, and you don't get like their name, but you get this phone number, requested information on that property. And then you reach out to them, yeah. Or text them, whatever you want to do. Well, the one for the office, we've upgraded, but I've had this my whole career, 18 years. Usually it was a text this number to this number. We've all seen those. Now it's kind of the same thing. You scan a QR code, and they get a pop-up of the property, and it captures information. Yeah. soft close, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, does this sound like a marketing plan that would get your home sold? Yeah, I think so. And then this is such an important question you should ask it. Is there anything else you've heard that other realtors do, or you saw on HGTV or Property Brothers or whatever you're watching, that you want done for your marketing that I have neglected to mention here? I have had to institute that question because one time I walked out of an appointment years ago and they didn't hire me because I didn't say that I would be putting flyers on the neighborhood doors. Are you flipping kidding me? When I do an open house, I put flyers on every door in your neighborhood. Like that's what I do when I do an open house. But I didn't say it. And they didn't speak up. So now I do love that question of, is there anything else you've heard that people do marketing wise, realtors, that I just forgot to mention? Because I want to know if something's important. Well, I really do want you to have a 3D Matterport tour of my home. Oh, great. Tell me more about that. Because no, I don't do that on all of my listings. I do on some. But let me tell you why I don't recommend it on your home. If people see that online, they might not actually come here because they'll say, oh, I already saw the 3D tour, and they're going to miss those views because Matterport 3D tours don't get the views and the vibe of the trees outside. So I don't want the Matterport tour. I want to just kind of have like some bait and get them to come to a showing so they can come feel the warm and fuzzies. I want to be able to handle objections like that, right? Yeah.
Flyers. Basically, the scheme of what we have done.
Yep, so there's a lot of different strategies on that. It's a very basic, come to my listing, choose your neighbor, this home's for sale, come get a free cookie, whatever, just info on the house. Now my script's a little different. My script would be very much, hey, Holly, I'm doing this open house here on Saturday. The seller and I want to invite the neighborhood to invite any friends or family or anyone that you would like to be your neighbor. Come get a free cookie, even if you just want to snoop
So
it.
you're not,
Sometimes.
or you just.
Been very rare. I usually have my people knock on the doors.
Okay.
But back in the day, I was knocking a lot of doors.
Okay.
But yeah, I would knock it, hand them a flyer, and then I would always have an, oh, by the way, I do offer free price analysis. If there's ever a time that you thought you might want to sell your home, I can only sell their home to one buyer, but I might generate multiple buyers. So if you guys like ever thought about selling, I'd love to know, and maybe I'll procure a buyer for your home too. That always, like, people are like, oh yeah, you can only sell it to one buyer. You might get more. And then you say, well, actually, yeah, we're actually thinking about selling. And you get it. Those are the best lead. Like, that's why I do open houses. And so I can ask the neighbors if they're thinking about selling too. That's what I want. Yeah, Bailey.
With that, if you like ask if they're trying to sell because you have potential buyers. Or are you trying to get property buyers agent?
I hate that. No, I want listings.
Okay.
There's a really important lesson you take out of this class. Got a few of them. This is one of them. Listings, listings, listings.
All three of those.
That's it. No, what I mean by that is, and if you read the Red Book, MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agents, the Bible around here, it's a 25-year-old book. There's just some great principles in it. And almost every class we teach, like, it's just an appendage of that book. Like, it really is just a great model of how to run a real estate business. But it talks about the 3 L's, listings, leads, leverage. It doesn't talk about buyers. And the reason for that is you'll learn very quickly that you can only grow your business so much by running around working with buyers. It's fun, and the energy is fantastic. It's like a drug. It's so fun working. Like, that's what, honestly, why a lot of people love real estate is working with buyers, because it's a fun experience. Sellers, sometimes it's uncomfortable, like, I don't want to sell, but hopefully sellers are also buyers and you can go get excited about the buy, but selling's hard. But listings, you can do so much more business, and you are God in the market because you control the product. You know what I mean? Like, I have this listing, like, bring it, buyers agents, bring it. I've got the listing, like, you control it, and it's usually in between 9 to 5. You're not out on evenings or Saturday. You might be doing open houses, but you're not 8 o'clock at night popping locks, showing doors like to your listings.
Buy.
Yeah, all the time. Oh, all the time. Yeah. Like, hopefully all of my listings are also buyers, but not all the case. You get investors, you get people that are, moving out of state and they're just referrals. Like, people do sell and not buy. It happens periodically, but the majority should always be buyers as well. So yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you sprint. We're wrapping up. Let's end with final questions and ahas. Questions, thoughts? What's the most important thing you learned? Because we got to be done here, but what's the most important thing you learned today? Listings.
Business of lead gen.
We're in the lead gen. On listings too, this is another pro tip. I would challenge you guys, you're going to be tempted, you can spend your money 1,000 different ways in real estate, and we get prospect. You've probably gotten 10 texts while you've been sitting here like, oh, sell health insurance. Like, we get so much crap, right? Because our data gets sold 1,000 different ways once you join freaking UCAR. It's the association, by the way. They sell our data to everybody. You're going to get sold so many things. Don't buy any of it. But here's a rule of thumb that I would always challenge everybody. Do not spend money on buyer leads ever. Spend your money, your marketing on listings, because for every one listing you have, they could be a buyer. Also, you pick up buyers on your listings. You all the time you get calls, people interested that don't have buyer's agents. And they say, hey, well, yeah, I'll show you this home, but if it's not a right fit, are you familiar with the one around the corner or this one? I'd love to open that and show you that as well. And then you can pick up, buyer's agent. So one listing feeds your whole business. You can build teams on listings. That's what I've done. Red Sign team primarily has grown because I've had so much business I couldn't do it all myself because I'm listing focused. Right now, no, I don't do a lot of open house. I don't do a lot of buyer. It's pretty rare that I'm ever out with a buyer. I still do it once in a while, but I'm a listing guy. Like, I can just feed so much with listings. Yeah. What other ahas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of terminology. Yeah,
Team,
yeah,
got a 23-year-old, I need to do, he needs to do that.
yeah.
I'm super happy to hear all your pre-qualifying questions.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm missing one, but I think that's generally it.
I put it on paper so I can fill it out.
Well, before you put on paper too, go to KW Command, if you're familiar with Command, and just type in like pre-listing quality. Like, there's got to be 100 other people that have made like an actual PDF. And I know there's one. It's up in my office. I'd be the one to go print it. It's like in a physical manual that's like pre-qualifying questions.
Is this marketing plan turnkey for anyone at Keller Williams, or is this Red Sign specific and I have to develop it myself?
So when you guys heard me describe like your syndicate, all this, like, keep in mind too, like, that is a little bit fluff. Like, you all have that. Like, when you're affiliated with our MLS, like, we have syndication. Also, KW has some syndication. The only thing I manually do is the social media stuff you got to manually do, especially if you're creating, and that can get a little hairy. But then also KSL, like I've hired a VA, we have a process. So because also KSL, you got to renew it every 30 days. Like, there is a process to KSL, but that's kind of it. Like, get your own sign process. So like that marketing plan, look at Amy's too. If you you can even get on KW, jump into your Command and get in your marketing. Like, they actually have really good listing packets right there where like you just kind of customize it and like, yeah. I'll jump into anyone's account. Yeah, any day now, you'll get roll on. So when you go meet with your cousin, like, you can be prepared. Also, like, man, partake in the culture of KW. Like, come knock on somebody's door and just own it and say, hey, I'm new here. Do you have a listing presentation packet that you'd be willing to share with me, just so I can create my own and kind of Frankenstein my own with
I'm
it?
a content creator, I'm not.
There you go. Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So do you have it like this, or do you bind it and?
I usually take it like that in a KW folder.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you bring your CMA.
Yep. I bring my CMA, bring the listing paperwork, obviously. And like I said, sometimes I don't even crack that open, or I'll just go to certain pages. Again, if I need to talk marketing, one thing I don't think it's even, oh good, it is in here. As silly as this is, you guys know what the most popular TED Talk in the history of TED Talks is? You guys know what it is? It's what?
The creativity.
No, it's Simon Sinek's Golden Circle. Sorry, I know we got to go, you guys.
Yeah.
I've got to be in Salt Lake, but I just want to tell you this: the Golden Circle. I know. The Golden Circle. Simon Sinek like broke the internet when he did this TED Talk, and it talks about getting to the why. And it says every marketing company, has kind of failed at this. They're getting better, I think, because of like he wrote a whole book called Getting to the Why or whatever. He talks about when you're selling yourself or you're selling a product, and as realtors, this matters for us too. It's really easy to talk about the what. I sell computers, I sell houses, like I'm a realtor, like the what. And then you might get to the how do you do it, right? I'm gonna hire you because of what you do, how do you do it? But rarely do we get to the why. And if you wanna like touch somebody and like actually have that connection, and this is back to the whole like, well, I'm a new agent. That's all like, what, oh, you're new, how are you gonna do it? Well, I guess you know how to do it, but you don't have experience. Like that's all what and how. But I promise you, like, and that's why Simon Sinek cracks the code. He's like, you don't realize it, but all of us are seeking when we're engaging with another person or a product, we actually do care about the why. And you know who cares about the why the most? Bailey's generation. Gen Z, millennials are obsessed with money, right? We're the Mark Zuckerberg generation, whatever. I'm millennial. Gen Z is not so focused on money. They want to change the world. And there's study after study that says more than my paycheck, I want to know the mission of why this company exists or what are they about? Like the why matters. And so that first page in my packet, you'll see when I learned this years ago, I realized, you know, I do need to just spend a minute to figure out like, why am I doing it? And there's a big paragraph in there. I don't necessarily love how big it is, but oftentimes in listing presentations, I really will tell people, you know what I love about my job, Chris? Because I love helping people develop legacy wealth through their real estate decisions. I really do genuinely want you to crush it and make a lot of money with your home sale. I want you to be smart. That matters to me. It's like why I do this business. Like that is like super important. So let's work together. Let's make you rich, dude. Let's like make some good decisions and get money out of this house. Let's not leave a dang dime on the table. And and that's my like, and I had to kind of soul search. I really do want people to really make good money on their real estate decisions. And anyway, so I put that in my mission right at the beginning so that people are like, oh yeah, why are you doing this? Like, why do you love your job? And people gravitate to that oftentimes more than all the, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna do it? Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, one other really quick question. Did you take your CMA? Do you print all those photos? Or do you just leave those out? Your comp photos?
Fantastic question. 90% of the time, I'm not printing photos. No. The only time I print photos is when I'm zipping through the comps. I'm like, ooh, there are multiple homes that are telling me to not finish the basement or finish the basement or like the whole, like, what do the comps say? If the photos are going to be my ammo to be like, guys, you got to fix up your house or like, you're not going to, I would pick those, but that's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. Or I'll even pull out my laptop and just say, hey, it's too big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't choose your photos.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys, you rock.
Class, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you guys. Go make your 10 calls today, right?
Oh, you
Yeah.
got it.
Hey, and you guys, for what it means, if you guys have questions or whatever, my office is upstairs in the far corner.
Awesome.
So come hit me up anytime.
Okay.
I can help.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys. I'm excited to like get to know. I can't walk out of here with.
And don't
Yeah.
forget.
Oh, thank. Well, it's not mine. No, believe it. Kick my butt.